It is N by 4 diode ROM. Here it's 74 by 138. It is nothing but your 328 decoder. Actually, what is a decoder? What is a decoder? A decoder is nothing but if it takes n inputs, it provides n 2 power n outputs. See here, if it is a decoder, suppose I am assuming this is a decoder. What decoder will be doing? It takes n inputs, it provides 2 power n outputs. Okay, and only one output will be high at it. Okay, suppose I consider if it is n is equivalent to 2. If n is equivalent to 2, how many outputs it will provide? 2 power n, that is nothing but 2 square, that is nothing but 4 outputs. Suppose it is a 2 to 4 decoder. 2 to 4 decoder, what it is taking? It takes 2 inputs and provides 4 outputs. Suppose I am considering it as A0 and another is like A1. And it is providing 4 outputs, that is D0, D1, D2 as well as D3. So based on your input, only one output will be high at a time. Suppose I consider A0 is 0 and A1 is 0. At that particular input, only D0 will be high. Okay, that means see here, you are taking 2 inputs, that is nothing but A0 and A1. 2 inputs means how many possible combinations you will be getting? That is nothing but 4 possible combinations. 2 to 4 decoder is nothing but it takes 2 inputs A0 and A1. It provides 4 outputs D0, D1, D2 and D3. That means if at all I provide 0, 0 input, only D0 will be high and remaining all outputs will be 0. This is for active high. Okay, if at all I provide 0 and 1, that is nothing but D1 will be high and remaining all outputs are zeros. At the same time, if A1 is high and D2 will be high as well as all other remaining inputs are outputs are zeros. Like that means what I mean to say is that if we give one particular input, only one output will be high and all other outputs are low. This is for active high. What about active low? Is a reverse case. That is nothing but it's like A0 and A1, D0, D1, D2 and D3. Suppose consider this case, right? If both are zeros, this is active low. That means D0 will be 0 and remaining all will be 1. This is for active low inputs. Okay. If it is 0 and 1, what happens? Only D1 will be 0 and remaining all inputs are 1. Again 1, 0, only D2 will be 0, all remaining outputs are 1. And 1, 1, D3 will be 0, all remaining outputs are 1. This indicates it's your active low signals, active low signals. Okay, this indicates your active high signals. Active high inputs providing active high outputs. Okay, coming here. See here, how do I know that it is an active low or active high? Okay, that means see here as Y0, Y1 are indicated with bubble, indicates that all these outputs are active low outputs. At the same time, if you observe G2A and G2B, we are having bubble, it indicates these two are also active low inputs. See here, as I am taking like 4 to 1 code, right? 4 to 1 code, that is nothing but 5 input I am giving. As I am giving 5 input, that Y5 will be active low and remaining all will be in active high state. And again these two are enable inputs. These two are called enable inputs. As this is active low, I am connecting enable inputs to ground. If it is active high, you will be connecting to supply voltage. This is like if at all I connect G2A and G2B to ground, then only it starts working. Right. Next, so as I gave 5, so Y5 will be active low. All the remaining outputs are high. At the same time, one thing I want to say, it is like 3 to 8 decoder, that means 3 inputs. I am getting 8 outputs, that is nothing but Y0 to Y7, it is nothing but your 8 outputs. Like it is like 3 to 8 decoder. Okay, and one more thing, and you can represent active low like this, or else you can also represent active low as Y0 bar, Y2, Y1 bar, Y2 bar like this also, without representing these bubbles. Without representing this bubble, you can also use this one. Like some designers, they will use like this. Okay, but you should not use both the terms. You should not use both Y bar as well as bubble. It resembles, the whole thing is wrong. Okay, and one more thing. As a diode is placed here, if we see, as a diode is placed here, that means, and this row is called as word lines. These are called word lines, and these are called bit lines. Column lines are called bit lines, and row lines are called word lines. Okay, if a diode is present, what it happens, it says that one is, if a diode is present, it pulls this bit line to low. That is the reason why we have got it is as low. Because as diode is present, it makes the bit line pull to low. Whereas here there is no diode, so it is pulled to high. Here there is no diode, this is pulled to high. As there is no diode, it is pulled to high. Why I am discussing only about row 5? Because it is a decoder. That means if I am giving 5 as an input, only Y5, that means only one output will be high at a time. Right. So again you will be having a buffers. So if I give low input, that is logic low, and I will be getting 1. That means what is the data? 0, 1, 00 is the data that is stored in this particular address. That means in 101 address location, I have the data 0100. This is the data that is present in this particular address. If I give this address, I will be getting that out. Next, coming here. You might be having a question that why should we use a diode, why not we short circuit? Even the short circuit also resembles the same. But if you see here, I gave 5 input. As usual, Y5 is pulled down to low. Okay, that means this only line has to be pulled to low. Okay, see here, if at all, if I am taking, if I replace these 2 diodes with short circuit, what happens? What will be the result? Right, see here, only this word line will be high, that means this only word line will be low. Okay, but in fact, as this diode is short circuited, suppose assume that I am replacing this diode with sleek paths. This is called as sleek paths. Okay, that means I am just connecting it with a single wire. In place of diodes, I am replacing it with a single wire. Okay, if at all you are connecting it like this, what happens? And this bit line is also pulled low because of this short circuit connection, and this is also pulled low. As there is short circuit here, this is also pulled to low. Okay, that means I will be getting, if you give low input to the buffer, I will be getting 1. Low input to the buffer, I will be getting 1, and high input 0. That means instead of 0 1 0 0, I am getting 1 1 1 0. Okay, that means even though you are short circuiting in row 3rd, but your output is differ. That is the reason why you should always connect a diodes. You should not short circuit. right? Coming here, suppose I want design 8 by 4 ROM. I can design like this. If I want to design a bigger ROM which is having around 32K ROM, or else I want to design 128 by 1 ROM. Suppose I want to design 128 by 1 ROM. So what happens then? That means you require 128 outputs. That means you have to take 7 by 128 decoder. Okay, you have to take 7 by 128 decoder. You will be getting all 128 lines. After that you will be having again more buffers. So your complexity of the circuit will be increasing. So in order to reduce that, if suppose 7 inputs, I will be getting 128. If at all I am taking 10 inputs, 10 address lines. If at all address lines is changing into 10, what happens? Output of that decoder will be 2 power 10. Is it understandable? That if suppose I take 3 inputs, I will be getting 8 outputs. Okay, is easier to design. But if suppose I am taking 7 inputs, 7 inputs means I require 128 outputs. That is, I have to design 7 by 128 decoder. If at all I am taking 10 address inputs, 10 address inputs in the sense A0, A1, A2, A3, so on, like A10. These many address lines were there. So how many possible combinations you will be getting? 2 power 10. So those many possible combinations I will be getting. See, if at all 10 address, that means I should get 2 power 10 output lines. It is very difficult to consider with the help of a decoder, that too with its one dimensional decoders. Okay, one dimensional ROM. So based on that, that means what are the drawbacks of this? If we want to have bigger number of address inputs, larger address inputs, it is very difficult to construct in this way. So we are going for next one, that is called a two-dimensional decoding. It is nothing but two-dimensionally you are constructing it. Okay, see here, it is like 7 to 128 decoder is used instead 3 to 8 decoder and 16 by 1 mux we are using it. That means you cannot able to construct like 7 by 128 decoder at a stretch. It is very complex. Okay. So that is the reason why we are going for 3 to 8 decoder as well as 16 by 1 mux. That means, see, 128 in the sense 2 power 7. 2 power 7. That means it takes 7 inputs. It takes 7 inputs and 1 output. See, 7 inputs in the sense A0 to A3, that means lower order bits. Lower order bits are given as a selection line to the multiplexer. See, that means 7 inputs, that is A0, A1, A2, so on till A6. That there are 7 inputs. These 7 inputs should be given. The lower order bits is given as selection lines to the multiplexer. Higher order bits as an input to the decoder. As it is 3 to 8 decoder, 3 inputs, I will be getting 8 possible combinations of your output. Okay. And how many cross connections will be there? How many cross connections you can see? That means here there are 7, like totally it is 8, 0 to 7 it is nothing but 8, and here you can see 0 to 15, that is nothing but 16, like 16 into 8, 16 into 8, that means you will be getting 128 address connection. You will be getting 128, that means these connections, okay, that means row and column, when they intersect, there will be 1 bit will be stored here. Only 1 bit will be stored by the interconnection of row, that is row as well as column. Coming to the point, as it is a decoder, it selects only one output line. Suppose assume that this word line is being selected because of taking the inputs, and assume that suppose column 15 is selected based on the input lines. If that means both are intersect, this row and column are intersect, and there is a diode, this diode pulls this bit line to low, and you will be getting output as D0 is 1. That means only this particular cell, whatever the data stored here, you will be getting out. In the same way, if at all this row is high and this column is high, what is the data that is stored here, you will be getting at that output. Only one output. And if at all I want to design 1 megabyte, 1 mega means around 2 power 20. That means it will be having 20 inputs. As you should give 20 inputs, that means I should take a decoder of 10 inputs as well as multiplexer with 10 selection lines. At total 20 inputs. In the same way as we gave here, like 7 inputs have been divided into A0 to A6. Okay, in the same way, if at all I want to design 1 megabit ROM, I will be having 10 input lines. 10 input lines is nothing but 10 input decoder as well as 10 bit selection line to the multiplexer. If it is 10 input to a decoder, what will be your output? As it is a 10 input decoder, you will be having 2 power 10 output lines. And 2 power 10 output lines, out of which only one line will be active high. And you will be having 10 selection lines, and out of which you will be having only one output. And that is very difficult to design. Even though this is somewhat easier to design when compared to one dimensional, two dimensional is easier. But when we come across like large number of inputs, like 10 inputs or 20 inputs or 30 inputs, so when the large number of inputs, this is quite complex. So what here they are doing is that, see here, 32 kilo means 2 power 5 is 32. Kilo means 2 power 10. That can be written as 2 power 15. That means it is having 15 address inputs as well as 8 outputs. So we have to design. That means you have to take 15 address lines and 8 output lines or 8 data lines. As it is 15, okay, here it is like 9 by 512 decoder. That means it is taking 9 inputs, higher order bits, all the 9 inputs for a decoder, as well as lower order bits are given as a selection line to the multiplexer. Based on the selection line, one of this will be providing 1. So in the previously we have saw this is one array. Okay, suppose we want to design 1 megabyte, we will be using these arrays coming to the memory. How a data is being stored. How the data is being stored? As I am being said that, as I have been telling, right, if suppose 2 address inputs, you will be having 2 power n address locations 00, 01, 10, 11. That means if 2 address inputs, you will be having 4 possible address locations. Okay, again, if at all it is 3 inputs, you will be having 2 power n, that is nothing but 8 address locations. 8 address locations. See here, 4, 4. This is your 8 address lines. starting from A0 to A7. You will be having 2 power 8 address locations. 2 power 8 address locations you will be having. At the same time, and each address you will be having some data. Data is being stored. It may be any bit. It may be 4 bit, or it may be 8 bit, or it may be 16 bit, or it may be 32 bit. Okay, that means in this address location I am storing some data. Again, in this address location I am storing some 8 bit data. So 8 bit data is called one word. ROM, commercial ROM types. ROMs are being classified into mask programmable read-only memory, as PROM, programmable read-only memory, EPROM, erasable read-only memory, EEROM, EEPROM, that means electrically erasable programmable read-only memory, and flash PROM. Coming here, what are these memories? As I have said that, what is a ROM? It is mask programmable, loaded at the factory hardware and cannot be changed. That means that is the customer, he will be specifying whatever the specifications. He will be giving whatever the specifications or the information or the data has to be stored in the ROM in case of pen drive, and he will be giving to the manufacturer. The manufacturer takes whatever the data, okay, he will prepare a mask and that be placed in the chip and he will be selling. And what are the drawbacks of this mask programmable read-only memory? In mask programmable read-only memory, it takes few weeks to manufacture that mask. Okay, that is one of the drawback, and it also costs like few $1,000s in order to manufacture that mask. So these are the two drawbacks, but whereas the chip has to be provided in large quantity, then they will be going for mask programmable. Coming to programmable read-only memory, that means it is programmed by the user, whatever the user, that means like row and columns, all the wires or all the diodes are connected. All the diodes are connected and given to the user. Okay, the user according to the programmer, okay, by using programmer, he will program the chip according to the data. Okay, that means the designer itself, he can able to program the chip, and it is only one time programmable. Once the design or the customer programs the chip, it cannot be erasable. Okay. And what is EPROM? EPROM is, it is reusable, erased by the ultraviolet. That means, right, EPROM, that means erasable programmable read-only memory. If whatever the data you want to erase, you will be exposing into ultraviolet light, so that ultraviolet light erases all the data that is present in that. That means all the data will be erased at a stretch. If we want only some data to be erased, it cannot be done. Whatever the data that was there, all the data will be erased, and you can reprogram it once again. And if you want to reprogram it, you have to take the chip out of the board and you have to expose that chip to the ultraviolet. That means whatever the electrons will be excited, and you can remove the data and you can keep another one more data. But it is like quite complex. So that is only sometimes, okay, is like programmable. What about EEPROM? Coming to the point, we will be discussing about EPROM. What is EPROM? Is electrically erasable programmable read-only memory, EEPROM, which is nothing but erasable programmable read-only memory. As we have already discussed that ROM itself says that only read-only memory, we cannot able to write the data into the ROM. Okay, but whereas here it is like erasable programmable read-only memory. So the user can able to program the PROM. Okay, he can able to program the ROM by using EEPROM. Here, see, this is your normal MOSFET. Okay, where you will be having only one gate as well as source and a drain.
You know the operation of the MOSFET. Now coming here, whereas EEPROMs, in that each bit is stored with the help of floating gate transistors. You will be having a floating gate transistor at every interconnection between the word line and a bit line. Okay, word line and bit line, you will be having a floating gate transistor like this. So here also you will find floating gate transistor. Here also you will find floating gate transistor. So that means one floating gate transistor is going to store only one bit of data. Right. Coming to the point, how this is going to be differ from your MOSFET. How this is going to differ from your MOSFET? You will be finding one more gate which is called as floating gate. So it is called a floating gate. Why it is called so floating gate? Because it is not connected and it just floats in. This is all insulating material. Okay, as you all know that there will be some insulating material here, that is like silicon dioxide layer. Okay, this is your silicon dioxide layer. In that silicon dioxide layer, you will find one floating gate. Okay, so when you apply some gate voltage, if suppose gate voltage is 0 volts, what happens? There is no electrons starts flowing from source to drain. As there is no electrons flowing from source to drain, there is no amount of current. If I provide a gate voltage as 25 volts, if I provide gate voltage as plus 25 volts as well as some drain voltage, suppose I am providing plus 7 volts, suppose source is at all grounded, what happens now? What happens? As you are providing some 7 volts, what happens? Most of these electrons, okay, whatever the electrons will be pulled up, okay, they start moving. Suppose let us consider it as 0 volts or suppose 5 volts. Okay, suppose gate is provided at 5 volts and drain is provided at 7 volts, what happens? All the electrons from source as well as from P substrate, their free magnetic field, the electron starts accumulating over in the floating gate. Due to the high electric field, all these electrons starts accumulating in the floating gate. Most of the electrons starts accumulating in the floating gate. Okay. So that means as there are more number of electrons in the floating gate, it indicates that 0 is being stored. Okay. You see here, as there are more number of electrons, that is nothing but it is programmed. It is programmed, it indicates that a bit 0 is being stored. Okay. When this is exposed to ultraviolet rays, okay, for about 5 minutes of certain wavelength, what happens now? When, see here, you have seen because of very high positive voltage, that is plus 25 volts, okay, because of high floating gate, all these electrons starts accumulating in the floating gate. It indicates that bit 0 is stored. Now what happens? Okay, that means that is this flash memory, flash gate transistor, this is programmed, that is 0 is being stored. Now I want to remove this data. What happens now? See, how to remove the data? That means if I expose this to some ultraviolet rays of certain wavelength, okay, for about 10 to 15 minutes or 5 minutes like that. Okay, what happens? All these electrons get excited and again they move to the substrate. Okay, when this is exposed to ultraviolet, these electrons acquire energy and they start moving to the substrate. That means this floating gate again comes into its original position, which is not having any electrons, which is not at all having any electrons. Not having any electrons. Why? All these electrons starts moving from this floating gate to substrate. It indicates that logic 1, or that is nothing but 1 is being stored there. Okay. This is all about floating gate transistor, and you can see that EEPROMs are costlier than ROM as well as PROM. Okay. And that too, if suppose here, if you apply some voltage and you are storing all the data, okay, into that particular floating gate. If suppose you keep it for about 10 years, whatever the data that is stored will be remaining it as it is, even though there is no power is applied. Okay, that is called, if you see here, SSD, solid state devices. Whatever those devices you are using is solid state devices, which can hold huge amount of data like megabits. Okay, that is what is all about. See here, you have seen there are no electrons present. See here, there are no electrons present, right? As there is no electrons, that indicates your logic 1. Here if you see, there are more number of electrons, that indicates your logic 0, right?